What up guys, GangstaPranksta here bringing you a special video today, and today's video is going to be how I would book Wrestlemania 30. This is an annual series I do on my channel, where basically if I was in charge of WWE or TNA or whatever, this is the card that I would go in for the biggest show of the year. I've done it for the past couple WrestleManias, I've done it for Bound for Glories, so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can go back and watch some of those. But today we're going to be booking Wrestlemania 30. And I want to say this was probably the hardest show I've ever had, the fantasy booking, just because, there's so many different routes I could take with this whole thing, because it's there's so many different situations I'd like to go down, and I ended up going on I ended up making a decent little card. I think it's decent. You guys can let me know at the end. Of course, at the end of when I announce the whole card, you can tell me if you would buy the pay-per-view, would you not buy the pay-per-view, and all that kind of stuff. So, I have 9 matches, and I think it's 9 matches. I have 8 or 9 matches in a pre-show. So, I guess we'll get right into it. All these things have decent stories to, they kind of make sense. I think most of them make sense. Yeah, I think most of them make sense. Anyway, whatever, we'll jump into it. So our first match, let's talk about the pre-show first. The pre-show match would be The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. And this would be our pre-show match. And the match would go like this. They get in the ring for about 30 seconds. They go to lock up, they break, they stare at each other. And then they just both walk away. And then it's oh, what the fuck? They just walked out, they both got counted out. What the hell was that match? And then we'll have a rematch on Raw. Rematch from WrestleMania pre-show. These guys both walked out, whatever. We're going to put them again and see what happens. So, put them in the ring again. Do the same thing that happened at WrestleMania. Both of them walk out, interview them backstage, and it's we're better than WrestleMania pre-shows. We should be on the main card. We're going to be the talent that's going to be main eventing these WrestleManias soon. Even take some shots at the Undertaker. Look at how old Undertaker is. We're going to fill in his spot when he retires, blah, blah, blah. And basically, they would be a tag team, and just thinking that they were better than everybody. And that's what I would do with them. So that would be our pre-show match. It's not even really a match. It's more of a segment, but whatever. So anyways, let's jump into our actual card. How many matches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now. Okay, so we got 9 matches. I think they're solid. And like I said, you guys can let me know in the comments. So our first match is for the WWE Tag Team titles. It is going to be the New Age Outlaws defending their titles against the Usos, Los Matadores, and Ryback in a 4-way elimination match for the WWE Tag Team titles. You definitely gotta have the New Age Outlaws because they're the champs. Then you definitely have to have the Usos because they'd probably be my pick to win. And then with Los Matadores and Ryback, it's just 2 decent little teams that I think could add into this match and make it a little bit more interesting. No other real story than that. I could build a story if you really wanted. Okay, one week we have the New Age Outlaws versus Los Matadores. And then after the match, the New Age Outlaws attack Los Matadores. Okay, and then on SmackDown you got the Usos versus Ryback. Ryback wins or whatever, and then they attack the Usos after the match, and then the New Age Outlaws join in the beatdown. So it's 2 teams on 1, and then you could have Los Matadores make the save, and then it could lead to a 4-way match at WrestleMania. If that's a story, if you really wanted one. But I would just take these 4 teams. They're really the only teams that the WWE has left. I wouldn't even really count Ryback as a team. Because, you got the Real Americans, they're kind of breaking up. You got the Shield, they're breaking up. You got Primetime Players, they're broken up. Tons of Funk, broken up. 3MB, but I wouldn't put them in this match. But, yeah, so this would be the opening match. I definitely have the Usos win. They've been chasing for the titles for, the majority of the year. And, what's a better place to win it than WrestleMania? So I definitely have the Usos win, and then maybe go into a feud with Ryback. So that's where I would go with that. Next we got AJ Lee defending her Divas title in a Lumberjack match against Natalya. I think if there's anyone that's gonna beat AJ, it's either going to be Natalya or Naomi, and I was really torn, like, oh shit, should I put in Natalya? Should I put in Naomi? But honestly, I think it should be Natalya, or maybe even oh shit, I'm still torn. I really can't pick one. I'd probably have to say Natalya, just because, like, she went from being, like, you know, she used to be a former Divas champion, then she's fallen to, like, obscurity, and then she's really using the show Total Divas to, like, kind of elevate her stock back up and make people realize, oh yeah, remember me, like, I'm a good wrestler and all this shit. So I think, you know, she kind of deserves it in that sense. And plus, I think they put on the best match out of all the Divas. So, and then you have the Lumberjacks, which would be like a combination of the Total Divas, and then the regular Divas, whatever you want to call them. And I think it'd be a good match. It'd be a good moment. And of course, Natalya would defeat AJ, and yeah, and then Total Divas reign supreme. Next, we have an interesting match. At least I think so. So it's going to be Team Hogan versus Team Piper. Now, I got the idea for this because, like, a couple months ago, there was rumors about a potential Hogan-Piper bringing that feud back and having something with those two guys involved at WrestleMania 30. And I think the original plan was to either have John Cena and Hogan team up against Piper and a heel, or to have Cena and then Hogan in his corner versus a heel and Piper in that person's corner. And it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing that idea, but I really like that idea, especially having it at WrestleMania 30, because, you know, WrestleMania 1, that was like the main event. So I think it'd be cool to have something going on with that at WrestleMania 30. So what I would do is I would make Team Hogan, which would be Cody, Rhodes, Goldust, Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, R-Truth, and Kofi Kingston, taking on Team Piper, which would be Christian, Del Rio, Sandow, Fandango, Damien Sandow, Fandango, Antonio Cesaro, and Jack Swagger, aka the Real Americans. And it'd be a 12-man tag match. It'd be kind of like the Survivor Series tag matches, where it'd be elimination and stuff. And that's what I would do. And then, you know, maybe have Antonio Cesaro be the last member of Team Hogan, or Team Piper, and then kind of turn him heel with having Hogan embrace him and be like, you know, you're better than being on that team of heels, and, you know, you are a real American even if you're not an American. And bam, gives Antonio Cesaro the rub. Bam, he becomes a big baby face. And then 2014, it looks like a bright year for Team Hogan. Or for Antonio Cesaro, I'm sorry. But I definitely have Team Hogan win. And I think this would be an interesting match. Just, again, to bring back history with Piper and Hogan, and to involve some of the superstars that aren't in, like, big feuds. And that was a problem I had when booking this whole show. Like, okay, you know, I have the main events planned, but what about, like, these list of guys? Like, I don't have anything from Mysterio or Cody or Goldust or R-Truth, Fandango, Del Rio, Sandow, and Christian, and all this type of things. And, you know, I thought about maybe, like, a Money in the Bank match, but I'm like, you know, that's not part of WrestleMania anymore. So I tried to think of something, and then I thought of the Hogan-Piper idea, and then I just kind of combined that with people that I didn't use already. So I think it'd make for an interesting match, and yeah, it would be fun. So next we got Dean, and I think I said Team Hogan would win. If I didn't, Team Hogan would win, and then turn Cesaro into a babyface. Next we got Dean Ambrose defending his United States Championship. Yes, he's finally going to defend it after like 6 months. He'll be defending it against Shield members, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. I would break up the Shield at WrestleMania, and you know, I like the Shield, but I think it's time for them to break up and, you know, turn Roman Reigns into the super babyface that WWE sees in him, and turn Dean Ambrose into this, you know, psychopath of a heel. And then Seth Rollins, I think he definitely has, like, the style that he wrestles, that high-flying stuff, it's exciting to watch. So he'd automatically have to be a babyface. Not saying that he's been a bad heel. I think he's been good in his role in the Shield. He's been a good heel. I just think he'd be probably better suited for a babyface role. So, you know, the thing leading up here, you know, everyone says Roman Reigns is the breakout superstar, blah, 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 blah. Dean Ambrose would be like, yo, you think you're the best, blah, 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 all these people are saying you're the best, then, you know, face me, and blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, you'd have Seth Rollins be like, you know, guys, let's just be friends, you know, let's just form the Shield. and he would somehow get involved, like, you know, he tried to break up a brawl between Dean and Roman, and then maybe Dean socks him or something, or Dean and Roman are fighting. Roman goes to spear Ambrose, he misses, spears Rollins and stuff like that, and yeah, I would have, if I was WWE, I probably would have unified the titles, the U.S. title and the IC title, at Elimination Chamber, like what was previously rumored. But since they didn't do that, I'd keep the U.S. title and whatever, give it to Roman, so he can it can boost him up and stuff, and he can look like a champion and stuff. So I definitely have Roman win and become the U.S. champion, and then that would lead to a feud between Dean and Roman, and Seth Rollins he'd kind of get axed out of the whole feud. You know, maybe have Dean viciously attack Seth Rollins backstage or something, and then that infuriates Roman, because like Seth is just like, hey, let's all be friends, and Roman's kind of, he doesn't really care, you know, he's down for whatever, and that would agitate him more, or irritate him, whatever, and that would lead to a more intense feud between Dean and Roman. So yeah, three-way Shield, Roman wins and is the new U.S. champion. Next is probably one of the most interesting matches on the card. And some people might be like, huh? Like, what? That sounds dumb. But the match would be Biggie Langston defending his Intercontinental title against Brock Lesnar. And I know you got a look on your face. You look shocked. You're like, what the fuck? You know, what? You know, explain, gangster. How would you do this at WrestleMania? Well, it's pretty simple. You know, Brock Lesnar took out Mark Henry. Mark Henry is a close friend of Biggie Langston. You could even say mentor. And, you know, Big E would just be like, hey, Brock, you beat up my friend. You know, you think you could beat up everybody in this locker room? Why don't you take on someone like me? You know, are you scared of me because I'm young and big and talented and doing some of the stuff that you've never been able to do? And just stuff like that, and just kind of like that. And then you'd have Heyman be like, you don't deserve to face Lesnar, blah, 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 blah. And then maybe put him in like weekly challenges and stuff. Like, oh, if you beat 3MB in a 3-on-1 handicap match, maybe we'll let you face Lesnar. So like put him in that, and then maybe face Del Rio in like a submission match, win that, and that kind of stuff. And then eventually he'd lead to a match against Brock Lesnar with Mark Henry at Big E's side or something. And then you could either go two ways with this. You could either have Big E win and defeat Brock Lesnar, and then that'd be a big win for him. And I like this match for a couple of reasons. One, it'd be an interesting match. Two, it could possibly be a breakout match for Big E. You know, if he has a decent match or a good match with Brock Lesnar, then you know more people might open their eyes to him, like, oh shit, damn, Big E's good. Look at him, he just held his own against Lesnar. Or you can have this be a non-title match, have Lesnar win, and then have Mark Henry turn on Big E and be like, oh, you disappointed me. I thought you could take out Lesnar, blah blah blah. You're just a failure. And then that they could feud maybe over the IC title. But yeah, that's two ways they can go with it, and I'd honestly like to see this match. I think it'd be interesting. I think what WWE is now, they're going to have Lesnar take on Undertaker, and I don't think anybody really wants to see that. I mean, it's not going to be a bad match, but we've seen it already, so it's like, why do we want to see it again? And, you know, let's do some new stuff. And we'll talk about that Undertaker match later on. I have him against an opponent some people probably won't be, or probably shocked to hear, but we'll discuss that later. So if it was me, I'd probably have Big E win and beat Lesnar. Or actually, I don't know. I don't fucking know which one I'd go. Would I have Big E win and beat Lesnar? No, I'd probably have Lesnar beat Big E in a non-title match, and then have the whole Big E Mark Henry feud. They can do whatever. So. But I think that'd just be an interesting match for WrestleMania. So, yeah. Next, we got John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. You know, just why not? I tried to think of a couple different things for John Cena. Like, I originally had him in a match against Undertaker, and then I'm like, oh, you know, but what's Bray Wyatt gonna do? And you know, I thought about it, and I just couldn't really think of anything. And you know, they've, you know, the story's there. You know, Bray cost Cena the WWE title at Royal Rumble. I don't remember if he cost him or did he attack him after. I think he costed him that, and then he beat him up in the chamber and stuff like that. So the story's pretty much there, and why not go with it? So it's John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. I'd probably have Bray Wyatt win, just because, you know, just let him keep his momentum right now. You know, the whole thing with Daniel Bryan and now John Cena. I don't know. You can go two ways. You know, have Cena beat Bray Wyatt and make everyone go home happy, or you can have Bray Wyatt win and continue the feud. So that could be interesting. And then maybe even bring in the tag team into this. Maybe even bring in, I'm trying to think of a team. I don't know. Bring in a team and have them, you know, fight off the Wyatt family, and then have 6-man tags and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'd have Bray Wyatt win. All right, next we have Triple H taking on Daniel Bryan. So I don't have CM Punk booked on this show. We're just going to go with the assumption that CM Punk will not be at WrestleMania, which is fine. But the whole Daniel Bryan thing here, I was really torn. Like, what should I have him do at WrestleMania? And, you know, definitely a lot of options. Put him in the WWE title match. Put him in a match against Triple H. Put him in a match against Shawn Michaels. And I think you know, I finally came down to it and eliminated all those. I'm going to put him in a match against Triple H. You know, this is the biggest angle WWE has been doing all year. And WrestleMania is the payoff for that. So, you know, the Authority have been, you know, pushing Daniel Bryan. Fans chant him, but, you know, Triple H doesn't do anything with him. So finally Daniel Bryan is like, hey, you know what? Fight me at WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. And what I would do is I'd have Vince come onto TV on one of those weeks leading up to this match and be like, hey, Bryan, if you beat Triple H at WrestleMania, you can be put in the main event with Batista and Orton, because that's what's best for business. So, you know, at WrestleMania, Triple H, Daniel Bryan, probably even have Shawn Michaels as a special referee or something involved in there, and just to make it more interesting. And definitely have Daniel Bryan win and beat Triple H. I mean, that's the whole storyline. Triple H should not beat Daniel Bryan, because if he does, that kills the whole story. You know, that just buries Daniel Bryan, and that'd be awful. So you have Daniel Bryan win, and then he will automatically be in the main event with Batista and Orton. We'll talk about that in a second. But during the match, you know, I would have Kane come out, try and help Triple H and stuff, maybe even Brad Maddox, and then I'd have CM Punk return during this match and help Daniel Bryan win and fight off Kane and Brad Maddox and all that stuff. So that would be, and then that would lead to Daniel Bryan winning and being in the main event. So Daniel Bryan would win. Next, we have Undertaker taking up, defending his streak against Sheamus. I'd pick Sheamus just for the fact that it'd be something new. Like I said, who really wants to see Lesnar and Undertaker for the umpteenth time? Yeah, it's been a while, but, you know, we've seen it before, you know, so. And it's probably not, it's going to be good, but it's, like, not going to top some of the matches that they've had before. So, actually, it might. I think it might be that good, but, I don't know, I'd just rather have someone new face Undertaker and challenge for the streak, and honestly, I'd pick Sheamus. Sheamus is, you know, it'd be a tough challenge for the Undertaker, about the same size. Sheamus is younger, stronger, faster, but the Undertaker is Undertaker, and I don't really know. I'd probably have the story of where Undertaker picks Sheamus as his opponent. And I definitely wouldn't have Sheamus win. I'd have Undertaker win. But my whole theory behind this match is you don't need a big name to take on Undertaker. Like, Undertaker can take on, you know, some of these younger guys. Like, in a previous one of these How I Would Book WrestleMania shows, I believe I had, I think one year I had Undertaker versus Wade Barrett, and then the other year I had Dolph Ziggler versus Undertaker. So, you know, even though they would lose, they would still get the rub of being, like, in a match with the Undertaker and holding their own. And it could really elevate them. Especially Sheamus is a guy who I could see being with the WWE for lots of years. So I think a match like this would definitely help him You know, there was other people I thought about. I thought about like a guy like Del Rio, maybe against the Undertaker. But I'm like, you know, he's older, and there's been talks of him retiring, so like this match wouldn't really benefit him too much. And I thought about Bad News Barrett, but I wouldn't want him to take on Undertaker as Bad News Barrett because that's a stupid gimmick. So the only other person that I could pick was like Sheamus. I think it'd be an interesting match, and definitely have Undertaker win and retain the streak. I don't even know. I don't know if I'd retire him after this WrestleMania. But, you know, I saw a recent picture of him, and he just looks old and shit, you know, so, I don't know if this would be his last WrestleMania, but it'd definitely be one of his last. And, of course, our main event for WrestleMania 30 would be Randy Orton versus Batista versus Daniel Bryan in a three-way for the WWE World Heavyweight title. And, let's honestly say, who the hell wants to see Orton and Batista one-on-one at WrestleMania? If WWE does that, then they are really out of touch with what the fans want. Because I don't think anyone wants to see Batista and Orton one-on-one in the main event of WrestleMania for the WWE title. That'd be awful. I think the fans would shit all over this match. And, it's just, the only way to end WrestleMania good is to have Daniel Bryan become the WWE champion and for all the fans to chant yes. Have 80,000 fans chanting yes while Daniel Bryan holds his WWE title in the air. That is the only way WrestleMania can end, and for it to be decent. Imagine if they have Orton and Batista as the main event of WrestleMania. People are just gonna boo. They're gonna shit all over this match. This is the main event of WrestleMania 30. Like, it would blow my mind. I honestly hope they do a three-way or somehow get Daniel Bryan involved in this match. Hopefully they do something similar to me, where they have Vince come in and be like, you know, if you beat Triple H, you can be in the main event. And, yeah, but this is what I would do. I don't know what WWE is going to do if they actually do Orton and Batista. I'm just going to laugh. Honestly, I'm just going to laugh. That's all I can do. Well, I'm going to facepalm and laugh. I'm going to laugh at them. Well, I'm like, oh my god, you bunch of idiots, you know? So, anyway, so enough about them and what could be. We're going to talk about what it should be as three-way. So, pretty simple, you know, Batista won the Rumble, Orton's the champion, build up to that. Of course, Daniel Bryan gets added at the last second, and he would win. I'd definitely have him win the WWE title, and then have Batista turn on Daniel, or not turn on Daniel Bryan, because they wouldn't be friends leading up to this, but I would have Batista turn heel on Daniel Bryan on Raw. Like, he's not a heel, but he's getting booed. He's a face getting booed. So why not just, you know, fuck all these fans that are booing me, you know, come back. And it'd be really simple. Like, Batista comes back. Oh, I came back for the fans, but the fans turned their back on me, and blah, blah, blah. You take this guy, look at him, he's short, he's small, this is the face of your company, I'm in a huge movie this year, and blah, 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 and you just build it up to a match at Extreme Rules, and I think that'd be awesome, honestly, because, like, I'd rather see Daniel Bryan and Batista versus Orton and Batista. So that's what I would do. You know, have Daniel Bryan win, then have Batista turn heel on Daniel Bryan and build towards that. It's pretty simple. It writes itself. You know, just listen to the fans. Yes, yes, they shit all over the Royal Rumble. Did you hear the boos when Batista won? They weren't chanting Boo-tista. They were just chanting boo, boo, boring, you know, shit like that. So I think he would definitely get a better reaction if he were to shit all over Daniel Bryan and beat him up and turn heel on him. And the fans, that'd be legit heat. Like, right now he just has the heat of fans don't want to see him and don't care about him. And then for that, on top of attacking Daniel Bryan and actually turning heel, oh man, the fans would hate him, you know? So that's what I'd do. Have Daniel Bryan go out, win the WWE title in front of 80,000 people chanting yes, and then have Batista turn on Bryan and officially turn heel. So that would be my WrestleMania 30. I'll put in the description all the matches and stuff, so you can check out the whole card. And that's going to be it. So let me know in the comments, would you buy this card? What would your WrestleMania be? What matches do you agree with? What matches do you disagree with? And, you know, if you don't like my WrestleMania card, put your own in the comment section and let me know what your, you know, if you were in charge of WWE, what would your WrestleMania look like? So, that's going to be it for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch us next time. Until then, guys, peace out.